Hello and welcome back. In this video, we will see next set of lookup and reference functions and we will learn offset and indirect functions. So let's get started. First function is offset and it has 3 mandatory and 2 optional arguments. Let's try to break it down. The function name offset just means to move to a certain point with reference to any starting point. And as we know, this process is called offsetting. The first argument is reference is like a starting point. It can be a cell or range of adjacent cells from which you base the offset. Since Excel has rows and columns, to perform any offset, we need to move in rows and columns. And that's what next 2 arguments are for. Rows is the number of rows to move either up or down from the starting point. If you give positive value as input, it moves down. If you give negative value as input, it moves up. Similarly, the argument columns is the number of columns to move either left or right from the starting point. Positive value will move to the right, while negative value moves to the left. And of course, if we input 0 into both of these arguments or either of these arguments, we will remain at the same position either with respect to rows or columns or both. Next 2 arguments are optional but are very important. Say we need to reference a range of cells instead of one single cell. That is when we use these 2 arguments. Height specifies the number of rows to return and width specifies the number of columns to return. The second function is indirect and it has one mandatory and one optional argument. This Excel function does not perform any calculation nor it evaluates any condition or logical tests. Well, then what is the indirect function in Excel and what do we use it for? As the name itself says, Excel indirect function is used to indirectly reference cells, ranges, other sheets or workbooks. In other words, the indirect function lets you to create the dynamic cell or range reference instead of hard coding them. As a result, you can change a reference within the formula without changing the formula itself. Moreover, these indirect references won't change when some new rows or columns are inserted or deleted in the worksheet. This function interprets a text string as a cell reference. This is very important, and that's the only input we provide for first argument. The reference text takes reference to a cell in the form of text string or a named range. The second argument, A1, specifies the type of reference. If we ignore it or provide true as an input, the reference style will be A1. If the input is false, then the reference style will be R1C1. Since most of the time we work in A1 reference style, we typically don't provide any input to this argument. Finally, we are done with all the basics. Let's jump back to Excel and see some examples. So we are back into Excel and this is the data we will use as an example. This data basically has the list of products and their sales quantity for 4 different months. Below, we will try to find the answer for below 2 questions and we will use offset function to answer them. First question is to return the sales quantity for tablet in April month. I have marked this cell in blue color here and let's try to pull this value. Let's start by adding the offset function. As an input to reference argument, let's select D1 cell. You can select any cell by the way. Now as an input to rows and columns, the value we are looking for is at the 3 rows below and 4 columns to the right. So let's add 3, 4 as input to both arguments, close the parenthesis and hit enter to get the value as 15. Second question is to return the sales quantity for all the products in January, February and March month. I have marked all these cells in light red color here and let's try to pull all these values. Let's start by adding the offset function. As an input to reference argument, let's again select D1 cell and now as an input to rows and columns, let's add 1, 1 because the range we are trying to pull is from E2 to G6 and we must start from top left corner, that is E2 cell. So this E2 cell is 1 row down and 1 column to the right. Next, the input to height will be the number of rows we plan to pull In this case, it will be 5 rows and the input to width will be the number of columns we plan to pull. In this case, it will be 3 columns. Close the parenthesis and hit enter to extract all the sales quantity for first 3 months. Looking at these two examples, you may think how to use offset function in real world. Say, here we have all sales quantity values and we need to find the sum of all these values. We just have to enclose the output of offset function into a sum function and you will get the result. To make it more dynamic, we can use functions like VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP, find the value and then give that as an input to reference, rows and column arguments, and offset function will pull the required values. We can also use COUNTA function and provide its output as an input to height and width argument to make this function even more dynamic. I hope that gives some idea. Now let's go to indirect function. Let's first try to understand indirect function and what role does it play in Excel. Say for example, I have added text C3 in this cell. It may appear like cell address C3, but Excel will treat it as text C3. If we add equal to symbol before these type of text values, that is when Excel starts identifying it as a cell reference. Now let's add row function and provide this cell as an input for reference argument. As we know, the output will be 5 because our selected input cell is at row number 5. Now let's add indirect function inside the row function and provide same cell as input to indirect function. This time the output will be 3 and this is what happens here. When we provide any cell value or text as input to indirect function which is in the syntax of cell reference, like in this case, indirect function will treat it as a cell reference rather than a text value, and it will reference that cell which is in the text format. So in this case, it points at cell C3 and since it is at row number 3, we get the output as 3. And now I guess you know why this function is called indirect. Now let's see a practical example of using this function. As an example, I have 3 different tables with details of turnover, expenses and profit for 3 different countries and for 3 different years. On the right, I have the drop down with same 3 years and depending upon the year we select, the values of turnover, expenses and profit must be pulled in below table. There are different ways of doing this, but let's use indirect function and this is what we are going to do. First, let's update this cell with the range reference as B2 to E4 if 2023 is selected, with reference as B7 to E9 if 2024 is selected, with reference as B12 to E14 if 2025 is selected. And of course, we will use if function to achieve this. Later, we will use VLOOKUP function to pull below values by providing this dynamic range reference as table array using indirect function. So let's start by if function. Logical test. If this cell value is 2023, then the output must be B2 to E4. Make sure to enclose it in double quotes as we need it in text format. For argument if false, we will add another if condition. Logical test. If this cell value is 2024, then the output must be B7 to E9. And for argument if false, we will add another if condition. Logical test. If this cell value is 2025, then the output must be B12 to E14. Finally, if all these values are false, let's output the blank value. Now, if we select different values from this dropdown, we get different ranges as output in this cell. Now let's add VLOOKUP function. Lookup value will be cell G5, USA. For table array, let's use indirect function and provide this cell as an input. Make sure to log this reference using F4 key. Now for column index number, let's add 2, 3, 4 in curly braces as we need the output from second, third and fourth column in our table array. Range lookup will be false. Close the parenthesis and hit enter to get all 3 values as output. Now let's drag this formula to below cells to pull the values for other countries. Now, if we choose different years from this drop-down, the range references will change and also the values will be updated accordingly in the below table. So that is how we can use indirect function to dynamically reference the ranges. I hope these examples were simple enough to understand both the functions, and that is what I wanted to cover in this video.